Hey everyone, so I'm going to tell you the differences between the Aquaculture 10-gallon tank as you see here and the Top Fin Colorpop 10 as you see here. So we are going to start off with the Aquaculture 10 and then we'll move on to the Colorpop. So the Aquaculture is from Walmart. That is Walmart's brand. It is, well, right now on their website it is $32.44. So basically it's $32. Whereas the Top Fin is $50. They are both basically standard 10-gallon tanks. The difference is what you get with each of them. So again, we're going to start off here with the Aquaculture 10. So with this, you get clear silicone, which looks good. You can't actually even really see it unless you're really looking for it. You do get this nice slim hood, and the hood has a cutout here for food so that way you can easily feed your fish, but there is no flap. It's just open. And you have a cutout here for a filter, and then one more over here for other cords, and also for the light as well, the cord light. So if you want to put a hang-on bag filter, it will fit in this little cutout here, but it does include, we'll get into this in a bit later, but it does include this internal filter here. And then this has just one color of LED, that is white, as you see here, and it is actually very, very nice and bright. I actually really like these LEDs. But when you buy this tank, you do actually have to snap in the LEDs. It's easy to do, but you do have to do it. Yeah, so if you guys want to see how to do it, just go to my channel. Yeah, it's very easy to do, though. And then won't blind you all, but it has two LEDs. Well, two sets of 3 LEDs, so it has 6 LEDs total. Like I said, they are actually very nice and bright, as you can see here. And with these LEDs, you do get a cool shimmer effect from the light and from the light hitting the water, of course. It just looks really cool. It looks better in real life. You guys can sort of see it in this video, but it does have a really cool shimmer effect. Then the switch for the LED is just a standard switch here. You either have off or you have on, off, or on, which I actually prefer. Some tanks actually don't even come with a switch whatsoever. And then, as I'll show you guys on the Colorpop, it comes with a more complicated switch. The filter that comes with the Aquaculture is the one you see there, and it is a Tetra internal filter. Let's just say I'm not the biggest fan of it. Here is a top-down view of it. So it does have a actually good sized cartridge with the carbon inside, and then some sort of flimsy filter floss. There, on the back it has some suction cups, and then it has a little guy that hangs onto the top there, and then you can see it kind of comes out there. I mean, it's not the worst filter, don't get me wrong. I just would rather have a hang-on back or a better internal filter than this is. You can see the water is kind of weird. It kind of burbles up here and it comes out. I mean, I said it works just fine for this tank. I just would not overload this tank. I don't know if I would even put this tank to capacity unless you change out the filter. You can see it does come out pretty strong here. On the other side of the tank, there's very little. There is some irritation, water irritation, surface irritation, but it's not too crazy. Again, I mean, for like a beta or something in this 10-gallon tank, probably perfect. Or for some, as long as your tank is not maxed out on capacity, this filter should work. There are better options out there. So that is it basically for this Aquaculture. If you guys have any questions, of course, leave me a comment below. And I'll try to get back with you guys on it. For $32 and some change, this thing is really sweet. I mean, it's almost $20 cheaper than the Colorpop, which we'll get to in a second here. And I said these LEDs are actually very bright. I'm very surprised. And then moving on to the Colorpop here. So again, this is $50 compared to the $32. This has 7 different color changing LEDs. Yeah, it has LEDs that change into 7 different colors. You can keep it on any of those 7 colors you want, or you can also have it where it rotates through the colors for you. As you can see here, the LEDs, this is the white coloration of them. Nowhere near as bright as on the Aquacultures. They still look good, just they do not look as good as on the other guy. I don't get that shimmering effect. The filter is different, as I'll show you in a moment here. This one comes with black silicone. I don't know if you guys can even tell that. Yeah, on this side you guys can tell. So black silicone. Personally, I do like black silicone over clear. To me, it just adds some more coolness to it. It goes along with the black trim and, of course, the black hood. The hood is probably a little bit bigger than what is on the Aquaculture, but it's still a very slim hood. Then we'll show you these LEDs. Again, I'm trying not to blind you. Then I'll show off the hood a bit better in a second here. Alright, there we go. Had to move up the camera a bit so you guys can see. So just like on the Aquaculture, there are 2 sets of 3. But again, these are the color changing ones. I'll show that off in a moment here, of course. And again, they do a good job, just I don't think they're as good as on the Aquaculture. Here is a better view of the top. So this has a bigger feeder flap. This actually has a flap on it, which again, I do prefer this over just it being open like on the Aquaculture. That way, no fish can jump out. On the Aquaculture, it is pretty small to where I don't think fish would jump out of it, but you do have that possibility. On the back here, you do have this cutout you can rip out of here if you want. And you do have one more on this other side, which is actually where I have my filter. So this would be for other cords, and that can be for your filter. And you can see here too, even without this entire thing cut out, there is a little spot here for cords to come out as well. So I do prefer this filter over the one that's on the Aquaculture. See, this is a corner filter, so it sits nicely into the corner of your tank. I actually really like this. I almost like this better than the hang-on backs because it blends in with your tank a lot better. This also is very, very adjustable. I have it like on the lowest setting. I'm actually going to turn that up a little bit. And you can turn this thing way up. That would be blasting my poor guppies around. So we're going to put it back down to there. So that is amazing. I did not mention, but on the Aquaculture one, it's not adjustable. Some of the Tetra filters that are internal are adjustable, but the one with the Aquaculture is not. So that's something to keep in mind. This, again, just like the Aquaculture, has, well, it's a lot harder to see on here, but it does have your normal cartridge with the carbon on the inside and then filter flosser on the outside. This actually on each corner, it actually has a filter. It's a filter that wraps around this middle part here. Hopefully that makes some sense. Again, I think this filter is just better. This is an actual top fin filter, which is PetSmart's brand, and I actually really like this filter. It's pretty sweet. And here's a side view of the filter. So it comes down to here. Sorry, I know it's hard to see, and this light just isn't the brightest. So it takes up all this space. And on this side, and of course on the other side, there are suction cups. Again, I really like this filter. Did not know how much I liked corner filters until I actually had one. Usually I use hang-on backs, but they're pretty sweet. Next we'll show off these LEDs. So here is the switch for it. I am not a big fan of the switch. So it's just this one button here. You push and hold it. It'll turn it off. After it says 3 seconds. And then turn on, you do the same thing. Every time you turn it on, it will go into where it goes through all the different colors. So we'll sit here and you guys can see all the different colors here. And then if you want to keep it on a certain color, you hit that button once and it'll stay on the color. Hit it again, it'll go to the white one more time and it'll rotate through the colors once again. Now if I remember correctly, on a tank I had, we'll say a couple of years ago, I believe it was called the Top Fin Tooth and Fin. It looked like a little shark. It was only like 2 gallons, but it was a really cool tank. It had color changing LEDs on that as well. It had, again, this little dial like I just showed you guys here. This little thing. But on top of that, it had lower down or maybe up higher on this cord. it had the switch like what is on the Aquaculture. That I really did like because you could just turn on and off without having to push on a button for a few seconds. That's something that's very trivial. It's just something that I don't know why they did not continue doing on their newer tanks. Now let me turn off my overhead light. You guys can see it. Now it is daytime right now, but my blinds are shut and they're pretty good blinds. Again, this light is decent. It just isn't the brightest. Certain colors like this green is actually pretty dang bright. Then other colors are not as bright. And of course, this is the main feature of the Colorpop tank, is that you have these 7 different color LEDs. And then if you guys have gravel like what I have in here, which is the black with the sprinkled out different colors in it, basically glowfish gravel, under certain colors like the green or the blue, they will glow as well, which is cool. Yeah, so that's basically it for both these tanks. Again, the Colorpop is $50. The Aquaculture is about $30. I should mention that on both their respective websites, both these tanks got about 3 stars. I don't know why. Most top fin tanks only get about 3 stars. I've never had any issues with them. Same with the Aquaculture one. I've had the 5 and now the 10-gallon tank kits. Never had any issues with them. But for some reason, some people seem to have issues or whatever. So that is something though to keep in mind, is both of these only get about 3 stars. But again, both of these are really nice tanks, I would say, especially for their price. Now I would say go with the Aquaculture and save yourself almost $20, unless you actually want to pretty much max out the tank capacity, because then you're going to need a different filter. I mean, that filter might be okay on the Aquaculture. I just would prefer a better filter if you're going to be maxing that out. Now, if you're just going to be having a beta in it, and maybe with some shrimp or some snails or something, it'd be perfect. And you save yourself $20. Unless you want these color changing LEDs, or you want this corner filter that comes with this top fin, then this will be a better bet for you. Because once you add in a different filter, you can talk about another $10-15, and you're basically at the same price. Then I think too, this filter that comes with this top fin is actually a really nice filter and very, very adjustable. Let me know what you guys think. Which one do you think is better? Do you guys have one? Do you guys have them both like me? What do you guys think? And again, if you guys have any questions on either of these, I would try my best to answer them. One thing though is YouTube does not always tell me when I get messages, so I'm sorry if I do not answer you. I might just not have noticed your message because YouTube doesn't always tell me. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. As always, I really do appreciate you watching. And as always, I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you guys have a good day. Goodbye.